say that? I have to produce the tape of that. You said you should do it in Miami, and I said, oh yeah, that's a funny idea, but I would never have brought it.
Where do you stand in the progress of this?
We're about 75% way through the script, and hopefully we're going to start shooting it in November, but that's really all contingent on the actors' schedules and all that.
How many of the original cast do you want?
All of them. I mean, the 4 guys is essentially where we're starting, and because the movie takes us in a different direction. So we're going to get those 4 guys, they're all on board, and really now it's about finding the scheduling, figuring out when we can make it.
But it's definitely not going to be in Vegas in any way.
It's not going to be in Vegas, but it's not because I don't love it, it's just because in reality those gentlemen would never return to Vegas. They're not, the whole reality, it's like asking a Holocaust victim to go back to Germany. I'm teasing, this is a terrible joke, but it's just stupid. Say that one more time.
Total dollar take on Hangover.
Oh, the movie made like $480 million. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge hit.
On an investment
of $32 million. Well, what kind of article is this?
Yes.
Yes.
How important do you feel the music was for the movie? I thought it was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
All genres.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think music, I always say, as a director, you have certain brushes with which to paint, and music is a huge one of them. Casting, of course, is huge. Locations and wardrobe. But music, I think most directors take very, very seriously. It's one of the things that helps you set the tone right off the bat, basically for free. It says everything. You can just play one song. We play a Danzig song at the beginning of Hangover, which is about bad luck and doom and the number 13, and that just says more than 10 pages of a screenplay can say. So I think music is hugely important. Glad you liked it.
Me. Hi. Hangover seems to have touched off a boom in Vegas disaster comedy movies. What advice would you give to other filmmakers about filming here, since you spend so much time here? You haven't.
You just basically got to become friends with Robin Leach. No, the casino, I mean, honestly, the city here in Vegas, they were so supportive, and the police and the casinos, and, particularly Caesar's Palace, because we shot there, and Gary Salazar and Harris, they just took care of us. So I don't know, for me, I've shot in a bunch of different cities, and Vegas was one of the best times we've had, not just personally, but just as far as the police and everybody taking care of you. They were very open to it, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. We never felt like we were in anybody's way, which is how you feel sometimes when you're shooting a movie. You're always like,
Where did you shoot the desert scene?
The desert scenes we shot out here, I forget what it's called. What are those things called? Like the flats, the salt? What? I forget. But it's out here, just about 15 miles out of town. Yes.
You had, of course, Hangover last year, now you have Due Date. Why do you find people in dilemma so fascinating?
Well, I think that just tension adds so much to comedy. And I think that dilemmas maybe is a simple way of putting it, but you're right. It's things that are, my movies tend to be about mayhem, and they also are a little bit about guys on a mission, whether the mission is to find the groom and get him back to the wedding, or in this case, Robert has to get to, be there for the birth of his child or whatever. They're kind of set up as man on a mission movies, and then they go in an entirely different direction. But I don't know why. I like the idea of the tension, probably.
When were you last time a man with a mission, and I'm not talking making movies?
Say that again? Yeah, maybe, exactly.
When were you last a man with a mission?
Maybe I'm last? What?
When were you last?
Oh, when was I last? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my fault. I don't know, that's a good question. Maybe that's why I do it with movies. And maybe I need to go on more missions. I don't know.
Yes,
Todd?
Yes?
My colleague right here made an interesting remark like 5 seconds ago. He said pretty soon every movie is going to be in 3D.
Yeah. Okay. And I agree with that. And by the way, I think, I don't have anything against that. I think it's just same as saying pretty soon every movie is going to be in color. Again, it's another paintbrush with which to paint with. So I think 3D is, why wouldn't you shoot it in 3D? It's another tool, and I think especially, all these tools are about restraint, whether it's music or color or whatever. It's about restraint, and I think what Jim Cameron did was showed everybody the way to do 3D, which isn't necessarily poking you in the eye, but instead it's pulling you in. And that was a whole other way to look at 3D as a more immersive experience. So I'm actually really excited about 3D. Yes, sir.
Oh, would you consider 3D for a comedy?
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. I think 3D, I don't see why every movie's not going to be shot in 3D in the next 3 or 4 years. And when people come around to it, the cameras become a little bit more manageable. The way we shoot comedies now is a really loose, really kind of seat-of-your-pants style that isn't conducive to the 3D cameras that are available right now. But as the technology changes, it's like saying, would you consider shooting your movie in color? Of course, it's available.
And specifically the Hangover sequel?
This Hangover sequel, I've actually talked to Jim Cameron about this, because that would be the perfect movie to do in 3D. It's an event comedy. People are coming anyway, you hope. The problem is just right now is the mobility of those cameras for us and the way we shoot, which is really loose kind of style as opposed to the way you kind of have to do right now. But I've actually spoken to him, and he's been invited me down, shown me things, that whole thing. But I kind of subscribe to what he's saying, which is like, yeah, of course, it's a tool. You use Dolby sound now, don't you? We used to use mono, and now you use stereo and Dolby. If it's available, how could you not make it more immersive? I mean, that's why we're here, this theatrical experience. The more immersive it is, sort of the more satisfying it is.
Great.
Todd, thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.